Hey guys, welcome to this edition of Adventures of Malibu and Dad. Guys, today we're at the Sandusky house. Very interesting story here in Lynchburg about the Sandusky house and how it came to be. Come on guys, let's take a quick little tour and one little history together.
We're glad to share the places and the people that we'll meet. Think of the memories we'll have. Exploring hidden history, it's time to hop aboard on the road with Malibu and Dad. On the road with Malibu and Dad.
Alright guys, so the Sandusky house is an Indian name for Virginia farm. This was Charles Johnson. He built this fine brick home around the turn of the 19th century, sometime between 1797 and 1808. He named it Sandusky in reference to his narrow escape from death in 1790. While navigating the Ohio River, Johnson and his companions were captured by Shawnee Indians. Two of Johnson's groups were killed outright. The remainder were taken to a Shawnee encampment on Lake Erie near Sandusky, Ohio. After more than 4 months of captivity, French-Canadian fur trader named Francis Duquois paid a ransom for Johnson, giving him his freedom. Johnson eventually returned to Virginia, stopping in New York to give President George Washington an account of his ordeal. A few years later, Johnson moved to Campbell County, Virginia, established his home as the centerpiece of his 1,200 acres estate named Sandusky in commemoration of the place where he was held captive. So the name Sandusky is a derivative of Sud-un-dusty, a Native American Indian word meaning by the cold water, a reference to Lake Erie. Johnson's business enterprises were many and varied. In 1810, he purchased Thomas Jefferson's entire popular forest tobacco crop. Jefferson duly recorded Johnson's payment of $2,003.11, in which memorandum books 2 years later, as work on his house at Poplar Forest was progressing. Jefferson wrote Johnson asking for 5 bushels of plaster of Paris. Johnson had intended using it as fertilizer. Jefferson purchased it for plastering the walls of his house. On at least one occasion, Jefferson was a guest at Sandusky. On December 6, 1817, Jefferson dined at Sandusky. Johnson's sister-in-law, Frances Steptoe Longhorn, reported that Mr. Johnson intends on having a big dinner tomorrow. Mr. Jefferson is to be of the party and to dine on vision, at least, that is the dish, on venison, I'm sorry. Should have brought my glasses. Mr. Johnson intends on having a big dinner tomorrow. Mr. Jefferson is to be of the party to dine on venison, at least that is the dish they seem to admire most. On 2 occasions, in 1813 and 1817, Johnson insured Sandusky with the Mutual Assurance Society of Virginia. These policies provided valuable information on the house, the assessments, the company place of it signified that it is among the most prominent in the area. As described in the 1813 policy, the Sandusky was 48 by 20 feet, 2-story brick and covered with wood shingles. In addition to the main block, there was and is a rear wing, 19 by 18, 2-story brick covered with wood. The policies illustrate that remarkable the L-shaped house has otherwise remained unchanged over the years. Each insurance policy also lists a separate brick kitchen and smokehouse, while later one shows that the brick office and the schoolroom has been added to the estate in 1817. In 1818, after a downward turn in Virginia's tobacco markets, Johnson decided to sell Sandusky and move westward. Johnson died on January 21st, 1833. His Beautort County property later became the campus of Hollis University. So very interesting. This is a portrait of Johnson. And it's kind of neat when you see someone who's been here with that kind of a story too. He was held captive by Indians, and he built this home. Let's go take a look at the house, guys. Just amazing. That's kind of showed who lived here, which was Charles Johnson, Elizabeth and Isaac O'Day, Harriet and George Hutter, and Neville and Louise Atkinson. So it's gone through some ownership. Some pictures of them. You need to know that Thomas Jefferson, one of our presidents, and actually lived not too far away, Poplar Forest, actually dined here and give this historic, beautiful colonial home here. As always, guys, colonial homes made of brick, just absolutely amazing. They have the two fireplaces, each fireplace on either side, which is a very colonial in its sense, built home. If you notice the bricks, different layers of colored bricks, probably are all fired and made here right on site as they were building this beautiful home. And the home seems to be in very pristine condition. I'm sure there's been some elements that have been upgraded and fixed. Let's take a look here. It's beautiful. Here's the Sandusky 1803 Union Army Headquarters, June 17th and 18th in 1864. On the staff were two future presidents, Colonel Rutherford B. Hayes and Major William McKinley. Wow, that's pretty interesting history right there. So who knew that two former presidents were at this headquarters at the same time during the war and Civil War of 1864, just before a year before it ended. And President Thomas Jefferson was a guest here December 6, 1817. And this is on the National Register of Historic Places of Virginia. Wow, guys, that is absolutely amazing. Actually, 4 different presidents have been in this home. Wow. The front door. True piece of history here, guys. Let's see if I can get some of the inside. That was the view from the front. I don't know if you can see some of the interior there with the old staircase. Man, this place is absolutely beautiful. So we walk through the columns here. You can see where the original carriage circular drive was. I love these boxwood bushes, man. These things smell so good. If you ever see something historical or Civil War or anything like that, you smell these. These are everywhere, and they're protected. They just give out a really great smell, guys. Look at the front of that house. No doubt, I would love to have a house like this. I've been looking for something similar to it as a hunt for my home here in Virginia. But I'm sure this thing here is very valuable just in its present state and being as historical as it is. God, 4 different presidents, guys. How amazing is that? And I just drove on it by accident. Actually, I was headed to go see something. And I saw this sign. I said, hey, let me take a look here. Glad I did. I'm telling you guys, when you get on an adventure, you never know what you're going to find. Now, it seems to be getting in kind of bad disrepair, which is amazing. They really need to fix this thing up because it should be preserved with this much history. I guess they have archaeologists working on the property. This is the side steps here. Some more of these boxwood bushes. Let's go take a look at this placard here about Sandusky. Oh, okay, and they talk about the different food preparations and the cooks and daily life. So it looks like they're actually digging up the site over here. That may have been the location of the original kitchen. Let's walk around, guys. It's just a beautiful piece of property. It's nestled in here in this old, it'll be a little neighborhood here. That's the amazing thing about Virginia. You can just be driving around, going to a neighborhood, and bang, there's an historic home with where 4 different presidents lived, or not lived, but visited. It's got a little bell back here. It's pretty cool. Sometimes, guys, when you look in these bricks, you can actually see finger placements where they were made, and they left their fingerprints in it. All kinds of things if you look closely. Sometimes the enslaved children would help build these bricks, and you'd see the little small fingerprints in them. It's got a looks like a back porch here. This was quite the house. Very beautiful. Can imagine back in the day, it must have just been amazing. Now they've added modern conveniences, air conditioners, but the structure is pretty sound. Very amazing. So guys, once again, Sandusky. Cool story. Guy was kidnapped by Indians. A couple of his party were killed. He built a house here really close to Lynchburg, Virginia, and calls it Sandusky. 4 different presidents. 2 were here during the headquarters time of the Civil War, and both became presidents. That's an amazing story. Just blown away to be here, guys. What a beautiful old home. I love the colonial style, and I love the historical factor on this little visit here, because who would have knew? I mean, I just drove up on it and I'm just completely blown away. Number one, how beautiful the place is in the middle of a neighborhood out here. But number 2 is the historical value, and 4 different presidents have been in this home in our history. American history is amazing. I love learning, guys. I'm glad you're along with me. Let's take a look around some more. All right, guys, look at it. It was a very interesting and educational find here. I was so glad I brought you with me. I hope you enjoyed it. So the Sandusky home was very, very instrumental in the Civil War, as well as very historical about how it all got started in the property itself. So guys, I hope you're out there. Get out and adventure. It's like I did. I'm just adventuring today. Came across this, and man, am I blown away. What a piece of history. What a beautiful colonial home. I think the admission fee was like $7. Maybe that's when they're open, they'll let you in the house. I wish I could have got in the house, but it's closed today. But thanks, guys, for adventuring with me. Thank you for always supporting the channel, watching my videos. Pass it on to your friends. We love you. For me, Malibu, Mom, guys, God bless you. I pray you're all safe and having a great day at home, wherever you're at or wherever you're watching this. Until our next adventure, guys, get out there, adventure. Bye-bye. Love you. Take care.